How are you guys doing? Today is Thursday, August 19th, 2021. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review the Elite matchups and performances from yesterday, Wednesday, August 18th, and of course, I'm going to preview everything that's going on today as well. Of course, getting started with the MLB because the MLB was pretty much the only league with some really serious action yesterday. Starting off in Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Reds, a team fighting for playoff positioning, took on the Chicago Cubs at home, and the Chicago Cubs were able to beat the Cincinnati Reds 7-1 yesterday. For the Cincinnati Reds in this matchup, the star in the loss went to Tyler Mahle. He allowed 5 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 5. With this loss, Tyler Mahle is 10-4 as a starting pitcher this year. In their batting lineup, their center fielder Tyler Naquin would end up going 2-for-4 with an RBI and a run for himself. He would hit his 15th home run of the season. That would be the only RBI and run for the Reds all game. And additionally for Cincinnati, their shortstop Jose Barrero would end up going 2-for-3 as well. For the Chicago Cubs, the start was given to Adrian Sampson. Sampson allowed 1 earned run in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 2. The win was given to the Cubs' first relief pitcher, Manuel Rodriguez. Rodriguez allowed no earned runs off of no hits in 2 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this win, Rodriguez is 1-2 as a relief pitcher for Chicago. In the Cubs batting lineup, their center fielder, Rafael Ortega, went 2-for-4 with an RBI and 2 runs. Their first baseman, Frank Schwindel, went 2-for-4 with an RBI. Their third baseman, Matt Duffy, went 3-for-5 with an RBI. And with this win, the Chicago Cubs are now 54-69. That is the 4th best record in the National League Central. They've won their last 2 games, and they've won 2 of their last 10. They currently trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 21 games in the division. With this loss, the Cincinnati Reds are now 65-57. That is the 2nd best record in that same division, the National League Central. They've lost their last 2 games, and they've lost 6 of their last 10. They currently trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 9.5 games in the division, and they currently trail the San Diego Padres for the 2nd National League wildcard spot by 1.5 games as the Cincinnati Reds are still the first team on the outside looking in despite these last 2 losses. Jumping out to Minneapolis, not that far away, the Minnesota Twins hosted the Cleveland Indians for this AL Central showdown. And for this matchup, the Cleveland Indians would score 2 runs at the top of the 9th to send this game into extra innings thanks to a Jose Ramirez RBI double and a Bradley Zimmer walk. But in the bottom of the 11th, it would be a walk-off single from Jorge Polanco to give the Twins win number 54. For the Cleveland Indians in this matchup, the start went to Zach Plesac. He allowed 6 runs in 4.2 innings pitched. He struck out 2 on the day. The loss went to the Indians closer, Justin Garza. Garza allowed 1 run in 0.1 inning pitched. With this loss, he's 2-1 on the season. In the Indians batting lineup, their shortstop Ahmed Rosario went 2-for-6 with an RBI. Their elite designated hitter Jose Ramirez went 2-for-6 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 27th home run of the season. And for the Minnesota Twins, the start was given to Lewis Thorpe. Thorpe allowed 2 earned runs in 1.1 inning pitch as he struck out 1. The win was given to the Twins closer for the day, Danny Colomb. Colomb allowed no earned runs as he pitched the entire 11th. With this win, he's now 3-1 on the season. In the Twins batting lineup, their second baseman Jorge Polanco went 2-for-6 with 2 RBIs. Their first baseman Miguel Sano will go 2-for-4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 20th home run of the season. With this win, the Minnesota Twins are now 54-67. That is the 4th best record in the American League Central. They've won 7 of their last 10 games, and they now trail the Chicago White Sox by 17 games in the division. With this loss, the Cleveland Indians are now 58-61. That is the 2nd best record in the American League Central. They've lost 6 of their last 10, and they now trail the Chicago White Sox by 12 games in the division. Jumping out to Denver, the site of the 2021 MLB All-Star Game, the Colorado Rockies hosted of the San Diego Padres. And the Rockies were able to pick up yet another win on the Padres, who are desperately trying to fight for their playoff positioning. For the Padres in this matchup, the start and the loss went to former Cy Young winner Jake Arrieta. Jake Arrieta would go on to allow 5 earned runs in 3.1 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this loss, he's 5-12 on the season for San Diego. In the Padres batting lineup, their left fielder Will Myers went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. He hit his 14th and 15th home runs as he was the only player on the Padres with more than 1 hit on the day. For the Colorado Rockies, the start was given to Chichi Gonzalez. Chichi Gonzalez allowed 3 earned runs in 3 innings pitched as he was unable to strike out a batter. The win was given to the Rockies' first relief pitcher, Ben Bowden. He allowed 1 earned run in 1 inning pitch as he pitched all through the 4th. He struck out 2 batters on the day, and with this win, he's now 2-2. The save was given to the Rockies' closer for the day, Daniel Bard. Bard allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out a batter. This would be his 20th save of the year. In the Rockies batting lineup, their center fielder, Garrett Hampson, went 3 for 4 on the day. Their elite right fielder, Charlie Blackmon, went 2 for 4 with 3 runs. Their first baseman, C.J. Cron, went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run. Their third baseman, Ryan McMahon, went 2 for 4 with an RBI. And with this win, the Colorado Rockies are now 55-66. That is the 4th best record in the National League West. They've won their last 3 games. They've won 5 of their last 10, and they currently trail the San Francisco Giants by 23 games in the division. With this loss, the San Diego Padres are now 67-56. That is the 3rd best record in the National League West. They've now lost their last 3 games, and they've lost 7 of their last 10. At the moment, they trail the San Francisco Giants by 12 games in the division, and they're holding on to the 2nd National League wildcard spot as they trail the Dodgers, holding the 1st spot by 9 games, and they sit a game and a half ahead of the Cincinnati Reds, who are the first team on the outside looking in, just to give a sense of where the Padres are. Jumping out to San Francisco, the San Francisco Giants, the team holding the best record in the MLB, hosted the New York Mets, and the Mets were able to beat the Giants 6-2. The Giants would score the first run of the game in the 3rd inning, but then the Mets would tie it up and on a sacrifice fly in the top of the 9th to send it into extras. In the top of the 11th, the Mets would put up 1 thanks to a Michael Conforto RBI double, but then Tommy LaStella single would tie the game at the bottom of the 11th, and then the Mets would put up 4 runs in the top of the 12th, 3 from a home run from Kevin Pillar, and then 1 more from Chance Sisco to give the Mets win number 60 of the season right after they were given loss number 60 of the season. For the San Francisco Giants in this matchup, the start was given to Anthony DeSclafani. He allowed no earned runs and only 1 hit in 1.1 inning pitch as he went on to strike out a batter. The loss, however, was given to the Giants' closer for the day, Tyler Chatwood. Tyler Chatwood allowed 5 runs in 2 innings pitched as he struck out 4. He pitched the extra innings for San Francisco, and in the Giants batting lineup, their right fielder, Lamonte Wade Jr., would end up going 2-for-5 with an RBI and a run for himself. Their left fielder, Alex Dickerson, went 2-for-3 with a run. Those are the only 2 players on the Giants with more than 1 hit. For the New York Mets, the start was given to Tyler McGill. Tyler McGill allowed 1 earned run off of 5 hits in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 6. The win was given to the Giants setup relief pitcher, Juris Familia. Familia allowed 1 run in 1 inning pitch as he struck out 2. He would pitch the 11th inning for New York. In the Mets batting lineup, their center fielder, Brandon Nimmo, went 2 for 6. Their right fielder, Michael Conforto, went 2 for 6 with an RBI. And with this win, the New York Mets are now 60-60. That is the 3rd best record in the National League East. They've won 4 of their last 10 games, and they now trail the Atlanta Braves by 4.5 games in the division. With this loss, the San Francisco Giants are now 78-43. That is still the best record in the National League West, and that is still the best record in the MLB in win percentage-wise. They've only lost 2 of their last 10 games, as they now sit 3 games ahead of the defending World Series champs, Los Angeles Dodgers, in their division. They're holding on to the number 1 seed in the National League playoff picture, as they still sit ahead of the Brewers leading the Central and the Atlanta Braves leading the East. Jumping out to our nation's capital, the Washington Nationals hosted the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Nationals would beat the Blue Jays 8-5 after the Blue Jays took. So the Blue Jays would score 3 runs in the top of the 7th to take a 5-4 lead. Corey Dickerson's 2-run home run would tie the game at 4. Marcus Semien's solo home run would put the Blue Jays up by 1, his second home run of the day, by the way. And then Josh Bell's 3-run home run would put the Nats back up by 2. And then Carter Kieboom's solo home run would put the Nats up by 3, so they could walk away with win number 52. For the Toronto Blue Jays in this matchup, the start went to Jose Barrios. He allowed 3 runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 3 on the day. The loss was given to Toronto's third relief pitcher on the day, Brad Hand. Hand allowed 3 earned runs in .2 innings pitched as he was unable to strike out a batter. He would start the 7th inning. This will be his 6th blown save of the season, and with this loss, he's 5-7. In the Blue Jays batting lineup, their all-star second baseman, Marcus Semien, went 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. His 2 hits were his 28th and his 29th home runs of the year. Their all-star shortstop, Bo Bichette, went 2 for 5. Their all-star right fielder, Teoscar Hernandez, went 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 22nd home run of the season. For the Washington Nationals, the start went to Josiah Gray. He allowed 2 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The win was given to the Nationals' second relief pitcher, Mason Thompson. He allowed no earned runs in .2 innings pitched as he struck out 1. He would finish off the 7th inning that was initially started by Ryan Harper. And then the save was given to Kyle Finnegan. Finnegan allowed no earned runs in 1.1 inning pitches. He only allowed 1 hit. He struck out 1 batter. This would be his 4th save of the season. And in the Nationals batting lineup, their catcher, Riley Adams, would end up going 2 for 3. He was the only player on the Nationals with more than 1 hit. Also on the team, their elite right fielder, Juan Soto, went 1 for 2 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs as he also walked 3 times. He would hit his 20th home run of the season. With this win, the Washington Nationals are now 52-68. That is the 4th best record in the National League East. They've won their last 2 games, and they've won 3 of their last 10. They currently trail the Atlanta Braves by 12.5 games in the division. With this loss, the Toronto Blue Jays are now 63-56. That is the 4th best record in the American League East. They've lost their last 2 games, and they've lost 6 of their last 10. They currently trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 10 games in the division, and they trail the Oakland Athletics for the second American League wildcard spot by 4 games, as they are the 3rd team on the outside looking in, trailing the Boston Red Sox and the Seattle Mariners in that race between them and the A's. Jumping out to New York, speaking of the Yankees, the New York Yankees hosted their arch rivals, the Boston Red Sox, in Yankee Stadium, and the Yankees were able to pull away with another win, winning this one 5-2, scoring 4 of their 5 runs in the bottom of the second after the Red Sox scored the first run of the game in the top of the first. For the Boston Red Sox in this matchup, the start and the loss went to Nick Pivetta. Pivetta allowed 4 earned runs in 1.2 innings pitched as he struck out 1. With this loss, he's 9-6 on the year. In the Red Sox batting lineup, nobody on the team was able to finish with more than 1 hit. That could be attributed to great pitching from New York. For the Yankees, the start and the win went to Andrew Heaney. He allowed 1 earned run off of 2 hits in 7 innings pitched as he struck out 4. With this win, Andrew Heaney is 8-8 on the year, and the save was given to Lucas Luetge. Luetge allowed no earned runs in .1 inning pitch as he finished off the 9th. He would pick up his first save of the year, and in the Yankees batting lineup, their catcher, Gary Sanchez, went 2 for 4 with 2 runs. Their shortstop, Andrew Velazquez, would end up going 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. And with this win, the New York Yankees are now 69-52. That is the 2nd best record in the American League East, win percentage-wise. They have now won their last 6 games, which is the best winning streak in the American League in total, and they are tied with the Atlanta Braves and the Los Angeles Dodgers for the best winning streak in all of baseball. They've won 8 of their last 10 games, and they now trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 5 games in the division. At the moment, they are holding on to the top American League wildcard spot, sitting 1 game ahead of the Oakland Athletics, who are holding the 2nd spot, and they are sitting 1 game ahead of the Boston Red Sox, who are now the first team on the outside looking in strictly because of win percentage. With this loss, the Boston Red Sox are now 69-54. That is the third best record in the American League East. They've lost their last 3 games and they've lost 6 of their last 10. They currently trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 6 games in the division. They currently trail the Oakland Athletics they currently trail the New York they trail the Oakland Athletics on win percentage for the second American League wildcard spot because they have one more win and one more loss than the Oakland A's at the moment, and that's where they currently sit. And then jumping out to Detroit, the Detroit Tigers hosted the Los Angeles Angels. The Angels were able to pull off a 3-1 win on the road after scoring 2 of their runs in the top of the first from a Justin Upton home run. Additionally, Shohei Ohtani would be the first player in the MLB to cross the 40 home run threshold. For the Detroit Tigers in this matchup, the start and the loss went to Tarik Skubal. Skubal allowed 2 earned runs in 6.2 innings pitched as he struck out 7 batters on the day and allowed 1 home run. With this loss, Skubal is 8-11 on the season for Detroit. In the Detroit Tigers batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit. Their left fielder, Willie Castro, went 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 8th home run of the season. For the Los Angeles Angels, the start and the win went to Shohei Ohtani. He allowed 1 earned run in 8 innings pitched as he struck out 8. With this win, he's now 8-1 on the season, and the save would go to the Angels closer, Raisel Iglesias. Iglesias allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out 2. This would be his 27th save of the year. In the Angels batting lineup, their starting pitcher, Shohei Ohtani, went 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run as their all-star starting pitcher. Would hit his 40th home run of the season, currently leading the MLB. Their first baseman, Phil Gosselin, went 2 for 4 with an RBI. And with this win, the Los Angeles Angels are now 61-61. That is the 4th best record in the American League West. They've won their last 2 games and they've won 5 of their last 10. They currently trail the Houston Astros by 10 games in the division. With this loss, the Detroit Tigers are now 58-64. That is the 3rd best record in the American League Central. They've lost their last 3 games and they've lost 5 of their last 10. They currently trail the Chicago White Sox by 13.5 games in the division at the moment. Jumping out to Tampa Bay, the reigning American League champions and the current holders of the best record in the American League, the Tampa Bay Rays hosted the Baltimore Orioles from within their own division, and the Rays were able to pull off an 8-4 win at home by scoring 7 of their 8 runs by the end of the 6th inning. For the Baltimore Orioles in this matchup, the start and the loss was given to Spencer Watkins. Spencer Watkins would allow 4 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 2. With this loss, Watkins is 2-5 on the year. In the Orioles batting lineup, the only player with a multi-hit game was their third baseman, Michael Franco. He went 2 for 4. For the Tampa Bay Rays in this matchup, the start was given to their starting pitcher, Louis Head. Head allowed 2 earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out 3. The win was given to their first relief pitcher, Ryan Yarbrough. Yarbrough would allow no earned runs and only 1 hit in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 3. He would go on to finish out the 6th inning for Tampa Bay, and with his win, he's now 7-4. In the Rays batting lineup, their elite shortstop, Wander Franco, went 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Their first baseman, Ji-Man Choi, went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. And with this win, the Tampa Bay Rays are now 74-47. That is the best record in the American League East, and that is the best record in the American League. They have now won their last 3 games, and they've won 7 of their last 10. They currently sit 5 games ahead of the second-place New York Yankees in their own division, and they are currently holding on to the best record and the number 1 seed in the American League playoff picture, sitting ahead of the Chicago White Sox, leading out in the Central by about 3 games, and they sit 3.5 games ahead of the Houston Astros, who are currently leading the Western Division. With this loss, the Baltimore Orioles are now 38-81. That is the worst record in the American League East. That is the worst record in the American League, and that is currently the worst record in all of the majors. They've lost their last 14 games, which is the worst losing streak in all of the majors at the moment. They currently trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 35 games. That is the gap in the American League between the best and the worst team. Jumping out to Miami, the Miami Marlins hosted the Atlanta Braves, and the Braves were able to pull off an 11-9 win on the road as the Marlins scored 6 of their 9 in the ninth inning, but it just simply wouldn't be enough. For the Marlins in this matchup, the start and the loss went to Jesus Luzardo. Luzardo allowed 4 earned runs in 3 innings pitched as he struck out 4. With this loss, he's 4-6 on the season. In the Miami Marlins batting lineup, their second baseman, Jazz Chisholm Jr., went 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Their third baseman, Isan Diaz, would end up going 3 for 4 with 3 runs. And then their center fielder, Brian De La Cruz, went 2 for 3 with an RBI for Miami. For the Atlanta Braves in this matchup, the start on the win went to Charlie Morton. He allowed 2 earned runs off of 3 hits in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 9. With this win, Charlie Morton is 12-4 on the year. In the Braves batting lineup, their elite first baseman and reigning MVP, Freddie Freeman, would end up going 4 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 4 runs. Freddie Freeman would end up hitting for the cycle as he would hit his 15th double, his first triple of the season, and he would go on to hit his 27th home run of the year. Their third baseman, Austin Riley, would end up going 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs for the day. And then their shortstop, Dansby Swanson, went 2 for 4 with 2 runs. With this win, the Atlanta Braves are now 65-56. That is the best record in the National League East. They've won their last 6 games, which is now tied with the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees for the best winning streak in baseball right now. They've won 9 of their last 10 games, and they now sit 3.5 games ahead of the second-place Philadelphia Phillies in their division. They are now holding on to the 3 seed in the National League playoff picture, sitting behind the Milwaukee Brewers leading the Central, and they are sitting behind the San Francisco Giants, who are currently leading the West and the entire National League at the moment. With this loss, the Miami Marlins are now 51-70. That is the worst record in the National League East. That is the 3rd worst record in the National League. They've lost their last 3 games, and they've lost 6 of their last 10. They now trail the Atlanta Braves by 14 games in the division. Jumping out to St. Louis, the St. Louis Cardinals hosted the Milwaukee Brewers, who are currently leading their division. And after the Brewers would score 1 run at the top of the 9th to even the game at 3, thanks to Avi Garcia's home run, they would go into extra innings and beat the Cardinals 6-4 after outscoring the Cardinals 3-1 at the top of the 10th, or in the 10th inning itself. For the St. Louis Cardinals, the start would end up going to Jack Flaherty. Flaherty allowed 2 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 8. The loss was given to the Cardinals closer on the day, Alex Reyes. Alex Reyes allowed 4 runs in 2 innings pitched as he struck out 3. He would pick up his second blown save of the season, and with this loss, he's now 5-6. In the Cardinals batting lineup, their elite first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt, went 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Their left fielder, Tyler O'Neill, went 2 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs. And for the Milwaukee Brewers in this matchup, the start went to Freddie Peralta. Peralta allowed 3 earned runs in 2 innings pitched as he struck out 2. The win was given to their elite setup relief pitcher, Josh Hader. Josh Hader would go on to allow no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out 1 batter. He would pitch the 9th inning. And then the save would end up going to their elite relief pitcher, their elite closer for the day, Devin Williams. Williams allowed 1 run in 1 inning pitch as he struck out 2. He pitched the 10th inning, and this would be his 3rd save of the year. In the Brewers batting lineup, their right fielder, Avisail Garcia, will go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. He hit his 22nd and 23rd home runs of the year as he was the only player on the Brewers with a multi-hit game. With this win, the Milwaukee Brewers are now 74-47. That is the best record in the National League Central. They've won their last 4 games, and they've won 8 of their last 10. They currently sit 9.5 games ahead of the second-place Cincinnati Reds in their division. They are currently sitting in the 2nd seed in the National League playoff picture, sitting behind the San Francisco Giants out west, and they are sitting ahead of the Atlanta Braves, currently leading out east. With this loss, the St. Louis Cardinals are now 61-58. That is the 3rd best record in the National League Central. They've lost their last 2 games, and they've lost 3 of their last 10. They currently trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 12 games in the division. Jumping out to Dallas, the Texas Rangers hosted the Seattle Mariners, and the Mariners were able to pull off a 3-1 win in Dallas after scoring 2 of their 3 runs in the top of the 1st, thanks to a 2-run home run from Kyle Seager. For the Texas Rangers in this matchup, the start and the loss went to Mike Foltynewicz. Foltynewicz allowed 2 earned runs off of 3 hits in 6 innings pitched as he went on to strike out 5 on the day. With this loss, Mike Foltynewicz is 2-12 on the season. In the Rangers batting lineup, their third baseman Yadiel Hernandez Yanni Hernandez would go 2 for 4. Their shortstop Isaiah Kiner Falefa will go 2 for 4. And then the Rangers catcher Jose Trevino would end up going 2 for 3 with an RBI, the only RBI for Texas. For the Seattle Mariners, the start in the win went to Marco Gonzalez. Gonzalez allowed no earned runs, and he allowed 6 hits in 5.1 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this win, Gonzalez is 5-5 on the season. The save would end up going to the Mariners closer, Drew Steckenrider. Steckenrider allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he picked up his 5th save of the year. In the Mariners batting lineup, their third baseman Kyle Seager went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 27th home run of the season. And with this win, the Seattle Mariners are now 65-56. That is the third best record in the American League West. They've won their last 2 games, and they've won 7 of their last 10. They currently trail the Houston Astros by 5.5 games in the division, and they trailed the Oakland Athletics by 3 games in the wild card race, as they are the second team on the outside looking in, currently trailing the Boston Red Sox in that race. With this loss, the Texas Rangers are now 42-78. That is the worst record in the American League West. They've lost their last 2 games, and they've lost 7 of their last 10. They currently trail the Houston Astros by 28 games in the division as they hold the second worst record in the American League. Jumping out to Kansas City, the Royals hosted the Houston Astros, the current leaders of the American League West, and the Astros were able to put up a 3-2 win the Royals were able to pick up a 3-2 win at home after the Astros took a 2-1 lead in the top of the 7th. The Royals would check them in the bottom of the 7th thanks to a 2-run home run from Hunter Dozier. For the Houston Astros in this matchup, the start was given to Zach Greinke, the former Kansas City Cy Young winner. He allowed 1 earned run off of 5 hits in 6 innings pitched. The loss would go to the Astros' first relief pitcher, Blake Taylor. He allowed 2 earned runs in .1 inning pitch as he struck out 1. He would start out but not finish the 7th inning. This will be his 4th blown save of the season, and with this loss, Blake Taylor is 2-4 on the season. In the Astros batting lineup, their elite second baseman, Jose Altuve went 2 for 5. Their shortstop, Carlos Correa, went 2 for 4. Their right fielder, Chas McCormick, went 2 for 4 with a run on the day. And then their center fielder, Jake Myers, went 2 for 4. He went 2 for 3. For the Kansas City Royals, the start went to Brady Singer. Singer allowed 2 earned runs in 6.2 innings pitched as he struck out 6. The win was given to the Royals' first relief pitcher, Domingo Tapia. Tapia allowed no earned runs in .1 inning pitch as he finished out the 7th inning. The save was given to the Royals' closer, Scott Barlow, as Barlow allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitch. He did give up 3 hits, but regardless, with this save, he now has 7 on the season. In the Royals batting lineup, the only player with more than 1 hit was their shortstop, Nicky Lopez. He went 3 for 4 with a run. With this win, the Kansas City Royals are now 52-67. That is the worst record in the American League Central. That is the 3rd worst record in the American League. They've won their last 3 games, and they've won 5 of their last 10. They currently trail the Chicago White Sox by 18 games in the division. With this loss, the Houston Astros are now 70-50. That is the best record in the American League West. They've lost their last 4 games, and they've lost 5 of their last 10. They currently sit 2.5 games ahead of the second-place Oakland Athletics in their division. They are holding on to the 3 seed in the American League playoff picture as they currently trail the Chicago White Sox of the Central by half a game, and they now trail the Tampa Bay Rays of the East by 3.5 games as they hold the number 1 seed. Speaking of the Chicago White Sox, the White Sox hosted the Oakland Athletics from within the Astros division, and the White Sox to pull off a 3-2 win at home as the Athletics were just able to come up short yet again in a game where they really needed a win. For the Athletics in this matchup, the start and the loss was given to Paul Blackburn. Paul Blackburn allowed 3 earned runs in 5.1 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this loss, Blackburn is 0-1 on the season. In the A's batting lineup, nobody was able to finish with more than 1 hit. Their right fielder, Seth Brown, went 1 for 2 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 16th home run of the season. For the Chicago White Sox, the start went to Lance Lynn. He allowed 1 earned run off of 3 hits and 4 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The win was given to the White Sox first relief pitcher, Garrett Crochet. He allowed no earned runs in 1.2 innings pitched. With his win, he's now 3-5 on the year. The save would go to the White Sox elite closer, Liam Hendriks. Hendriks allowed no earned runs and no hits in 1.2 innings pitched as he struck out 3. He would finish the 8th and the 9th innings as he picked up his 28th save of the year. In the White Sox batting lineup, the only player with more than 1 hit was their center fielder, Luis Robert. He went 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. With this win, the Chicago White Sox are now 71-50. That is the best record in the American League Central. They've won their last 3 games, and they've won 6 of their last 10. They currently sit 12 games ahead of the second-place Cleveland Indians in the division, and they are holding on to the 2nd seed in the American League playoff picture, currently trailing the Tampa Bay Rays out east and sitting ahead of the Houston Astros out west for the time being. With this loss, the Oakland Athletics are now 68-53. That is the 2nd-best record in the American League West. They've lost their last 4 games, and they've lost 5 of their last 10. They currently trail the Houston Astros by 2.5 games still, as alongside the Astros have lost their last 4 games as well. Right now, they are currently holding on to the 2nd American League wildcard spot, trailing the Yankees by 1 game in that race, and they are holding on to that 2nd spot because they have won 1 less game and they have lost 1 less game than the Boston Red Sox, who are the first team on the outside looking in. Jumping out to Phoenix, the Arizona Diamondbacks were able to beat the Philadelphia Phillies to become the last team in the MLB to cross the 40-win threshold in their 121st game. For the Philadelphia Phillies in this matchup, the start and the loss was given to Ranger Suarez. Suarez allowed 3 earned runs and 4.2 innings pitched as he struck out 2. With this loss, Suarez is 5-4 on the season. In the Phillies batting lineup, the only player with more than 1 hit was their center fielder, Odubel Herrera. He went 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs as he hit his 9th home run of the season, as well as his 2nd triple of the year. For the Arizona Diamondbacks, the start and the win was given to Humberto Castellanos. Castellanos allowed 1 earned run in 5.1 innings pitched as he struck out 1. With this win, Castellanos is 1-1 on the season, and the save was given to the Diamondbacks closer, Tyler Clippard. Clippard allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out a batter. With this save, he now has 4 on the year. In their batting lineup, their third baseman, Asdrubal Cabrera, would go 2 for 4. Their first baseman, Christian Walker, would end up going 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run for himself. And then additionally, the pitcher, Humberto Castellanos, will go 2 for 2 with an RBI in the batter's box. With this win, the Arizona Diamondbacks are now 40-81. That is the worst record in the National League. They are the 2nd to last team in the MLB to cross the 40-win threshold, as the Orioles still have yet to do so. But regardless, the Arizona Diamondbacks have won their last 2 games, and they've won 5 of their last 10. They currently trail the San Francisco Giants by 38 games in the division, and that is the gap between the best and worst teams in the National League. And with this loss, the Philadelphia Phillies are now 61-59. That is the 2nd best record in the National League East. They've lost their last 3 games, and they've lost 6 of their last 10. They currently trail the Atlanta Braves by 3.5 games in the division, and they currently trail the San Diego Padres for the 2nd National League wildcard spot by 4.5 games. They are the 3rd team on the outside looking in from the National League side, as they trail the Cincinnati Reds and the St. Louis Cardinals at the moment. Last but not least, jumping out to Los Angeles, the defending World Series champs, LA Dodgers, hosted the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Dodgers were able to blank the Pirates 9-0, holding the Pirates to only 3 hits all game. For the Pittsburgh Pirates in this matchup, the start and the loss was given to JT Brubaker. Brubaker allowed 7 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 6. With this loss, Brubaker is 4-13 on the year. And then in the Pirates batting lineup, their first baseman, Colin Moran, will go 2 for 4. For the Los Angeles Dodgers in this matchup, the start was given to Justin Breuil. Breuil allowed no earned runs and only 1 hit in 1.2 innings pitched as he struck out 1. The win would go to their only relief pitcher on the day, Mitch White. White would allow no earned runs and only 2 hits in 7.1 innings pitched as he struck out 6 on the day. With this win, he's now 1-1 on the season. Like I said, he would finish out the second inning and go on to finish out the game. For the Los Angeles Dodgers in their batting lineup, their left fielder, A.J. Pollock, will go 3 for 5 with an RBI and 3 runs on the day. He would hit his 15th home run of the season. Their all-star first baseman, Max Muncy, will go 2 for 3 with 5 RBIs and 3 runs. He would hit his 27th and 28th home runs of the year. Their all-star third baseman, Justin Turner, will go 2 for 2 with a run. Their elite shortstop, Corey Seager, went 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run as he hit his 6th home run of the season. With this win, the Los Angeles Dodgers are now 75-46. That is the second best record in the National League West. And win percentage-wise, that is actually the second best record in all of the MLB. They've won their last 6 games, which is tied with the Atlanta Braves and the New York Yankees for the best winning streak in all of baseball. They've won 9 of their last 10, and they currently trail the San Francisco Giants by 3 games in the division. They are holding on to the top National League wildcard spot as they sit 9 games ahead of the second-place San Diego Padres. And with this loss, the Pittsburgh Pirates are now 42-79. That is the worst record in the National League Central and the second worst record in the National League. They've lost their last 5 games, which is the worst losing streak in the National League at the moment, to give a sense of where they sit. They have now lost 9 of their last 10, and they now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 32 games in the division. So that is what the MLB is looking like following all of its games from yesterday, and looking forward to what's going on today. Today is Thursday. Today is also sort of a travel day, and you'll see less games going on today. Starting out at 1:10, Matt Manning and the Detroit Tigers are going to host Jose Quintana and the Los Angeles Angels in Comerica Park. At the same time, at 1:10, Shane McClanahan and the Tampa Bay Rays are going to host Jorge Lopez in Tropicana Field. Shane McClanahan enters this matchup with a 7-4 record, holding a 3.73 ERA on the season. At 2:05, Spencer Howard and the Texas Rangers are going to host Chris Flexen and the Seattle Mariners in Globe Life Field. Chris Flexen comes into this matchup holding a 10-5 record, holding a 3.78 ERA. At 2:10, Mike Minor and the Kansas City Royals are going to host Luis Garcia and the Houston Astros. Luis Garcia enters this matchup with a 9-6 record, holding a 3.30 ERA. At the same time, at 2:10, Dylan Cease and the Chicago White Sox are going to host Cole Irvin and the Oakland Athletics. Cole Irvin enters this matchup with an 8-11 record, holding a 3.52 ERA. At 3:40, Madison Bumgarner and the Arizona Cardinals are going to host Zach Wheeler and the Philadelphia Phillies. Zach Wheeler enters his matchup holding a 10-7 record, holding a 2.56 ERA. At 7:05, Jameson Taillon and the New York Yankees are going to host John Gant and the Minnesota Twins. Jameson Taillon is the holder of a 7-4 record alongside a 3.89 ERA. At 7:10 on ESPN Plus, Luis Castillo and the Cincinnati Reds are going to host Zach Thompson and the Miami Marlins. Zach Thompson enters this matchup with a 2-5 record, holding a 2.91 ERA. At 7:45, John Lester and the St. Louis Cardinals are going to host the Milwaukee Brewers, led by their all-star starting pitcher, Brandon Woodruff. Brandon Woodruff enters this matchup with a 7-6 record, holding a 2.18 ERA. And last but not least, at 10:10, the defending World Series champs, LA Dodgers, are going to host Taijuan Walker and the New York Mets. Taijuan Walker enters his matchup with a 7-7 record, holding a 3.75 ERA. And that's virtually everything going on for today. As we look at soccer, mainly everything going on for soccer today is Europa League qualifying matchups. And of course, as the season progresses, I'm going to cover more soccer as it's covered. But as it is, that is what the world of sports is looking like today, Thursday, August 19th, 2021. I want to thank the MLB, the ESPN, and FIFA websites for giving me all the facts and figures that I need. I want to, of course, apologize for all the names that I butchered while doing this episode. Eventually, I'll get everyone's name right. But with that said, I want to thank everyone for listening to all 39 minutes of this piece. I hope all is well, and once all of today's matchups and exhibitions are finished, I will come back tomorrow, Friday, August 20th, for another episode of The Elite. And until then, I want to thank everyone for listening to my piece. I hope all is well, and peace out. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Thanks for listening to my episode of The Elite, and don't forget to be elite yourself. Peace.